My daughter and I lost our bond, then her best friend changed everything.
Changed everything in a good way?
And trigger warning, mentions of heavy drinking. I am a 46-year-old man. I've lived a fairly decent life. In general, I'm proud of who I am and what I've done. I've worked hard to be a decent person. I've never been rich in the Jeff Bezos sense, but I've been lucky. By the way, this comes from Deleted, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. And I'm Angie.
I'm Carly.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We just know what we would do in this situation, but let us know what you would do in the comments. So, OP says, my dad was successful and set me up with enough that I could live comfortably. Because of that, I've been able to do what I actually want to do for work. I'm an art teacher. I also own a little independent bookstore that looks like it was plucked straight out of a rom-com or a Studio Ghibli film. Wooden shelves, warm lighting, cozy reading corners, handwritten recommendations. I love my job. I love my bookstore. I love art. I love people. And I loved raising my daughter. Let's call her Ella. Ella is 25 now. I had her when I was 21, and yes, I know that's young. Her mother and I got divorced when Ella was 9, and even though things didn't work out between us, her mother and I have a good friendship now. We split custody evenly. Ella spent equal time with us until she was 18. After that, she chose to move in with me, but I don't know what happened. I raised her to be kind. That was always the most important thing to me. Kindness, empathy, and acceptance. I've never understood bigotry. I've tried to lead by example. I have friends from all walks of life, every identity and background. I've always taught her that the world is big and full of beautiful variety and that we need to meet that with open arms. She grew up with bedtime stories from different cultures, pride flags in our window, and Saturday mornings running workshops for kids who couldn't afford art supplies. But sometime in high school, something changed. I think she fell in with the wrong crowd. You hear that kind of thing all the time and think it sounds like a cliche, but sometimes cliches are true. I know, I definitely don't ever think that's cliche. I think
that's so cliche.
It's just like
or so not cliche. I mean, that's so
it's
common.
just common. Yeah. It's just what happens sometimes.
Yeah.
She started parroting weird internet language. Got into these bizarre alt-right adjacent communities online. She started calling things beta and complaining about cancel culture. I tried to talk to her, tried to understand, tried to guide her back, but I was met with walls, with eye rolls and scoffs. She started drinking, smoking. I'm not sure. She stopped talking to me about anything meaningful. Her friend group rotated constantly with new boys always around. 42 of them.
What?
At once or just
42 group? 42 person friend group?
That truly left me speechless. I'm like constantly rotating new boys. So 42 total, I'm guessing, but not at once.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Opie says, I know because I counted. Yes, I actually wrote them down like some kind of bitter sitcom dad. I'm not proud of it, but it kept me from going insane. Despite all of it, I never stopped loving her. I still haven't stopped, but she doesn't feel like my Ella anymore. And it's this constant ache in my chest, like I've lost her even though she's right here. She still lives with me. She could have moved out after college, but never did. Part of me is glad. Another part of me is starting to wonder if I've enabled her to keep coasting. She doesn't need to work. We have money, and she knows that. I never wanted her to need a job. I wanted her to have the freedom to choose what she wanted to do, but she's not doing anything, just floating. Which brings me to last night. She brought a friend home, a boy named Tommy. They've been friends for a few years now, met in college. I've seen him around the house a handful of times, always polite, soft-spoken, kind of shy, very cute. Yeah, I said it. I'm not blind, Reddit. I might be 46, but I know what's what. Tommy is what I'd comfortably describe as a femboy. Long eyelashes, perfect skin, little pastel hoodie, tiny silver rings on his fingers. He smells like vanilla and citrus. I'm assuming it's like a strong smell. I don't want to go to this guy's creepy because he doesn't seem like it. I don't know what perfume he wears, but it's addictive. Oh gosh, okay, that sounded creepy. I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, he's adorable. I was a little surprised that he and Ella were friends at all, considering her recent opinions. Anyway, Ella said that she was just bringing Tommy over to chill for a bit. Said that they were going to watch a movie. I made snacks. I popped in to say hi. And then not even 20 minutes later, she tells me that she's going out to a party. I asked, what about Tommy? She just shrugged. He doesn't want to go. He can hang out here or go home. Wild. You're going to leave your friend at your house so that you could go party? That's so wild.
That's weird.
And then she left, just like that. Left her friend, no, her guest, alone in my house while she ran off to get wasted. I asked Tommy if he was okay staying. He just smiled and said he didn't mind, that parties weren't really his thing. I offered to make him dinner. He said his favorite was grilled cheese and tomato soup. So that's what I made. They just become besties. It's just like, all right, well, cool.
Okay.
New
We
best
bonded
friend.
over grilled cheese and tomato soup.
Yeah. We sat down and ate together at the kitchen table, and we ended up talking for almost 2 hours. I've learned more about Tommy in one night than I've learned about my daughter in the last 3 years. He's studying literature, loves poetry, huge Sylvia Plath fan. His favorite movie is Call Me By Your Name, classic. His favorite color is sage green,
Classic.
classic. He's meeting all the stereotypes. Love it. Love it. He told me he thinks my bookstore is beautiful. Said he'd never been in a place that felt so safe. He asked me about art. We talked about Van Gogh and Egon Schiele and Giorgio Kef. Don't know how to say these names. He asked questions about brush techniques and about how I curate books for the shop. He actually listened to every word. Eventually, we moved to the living room. I asked if he wanted to watch a movie. He said that I could pick. I went with Pretty Woman, a classic and one of my guilty pleasures. He curled up next to me on the couch, legs folded beneath him like a cat. And somewhere during the movie, his head ended up on my shoulder. What's happening?
This is why I said I cautiously liked you, OP.
That was smart. I was really hoping this wasn't going to go into a weird way. But with all of I was reading it,
Yeah.
I was thinking it might have been.
Let's hold out a little hope for another page.
Yeah,
let's do it.
It's just like a
It's a fatherly,
parental, like, I feel safe.
Let's see his response to it.
I'm
I don't
so
want
scared.
to.
I don't
I
want to
don't
read
want
it.
to. Okay,
I want this to be platonic.
Okay, let's see.
Oh God. My arm went around him. We didn't speak. We just existed. At some point, it turned into full-on spooning.
Why?
No.
Why?
No. I mean, obviously, like, he's not a minor. Like, I think she's 25 at this point, so I'm assuming he's around the same age. But still, it's weird. You're like 20 years older than him.
Okay.
I had him tucked against me, both of us warm under a blanket, and then we kissed.
Why?
Your daughter's bestie?
That's weird.
I mean, it's not actually bestie. She definitely doesn't care about him, but still, it is weird. It's very weird. I don't even know who started it. It just happened. It was soft and slow and sweet. We didn't go further. We just kissed for a while. It felt nice. It felt good. It felt like something I hadn't felt in years. And then the front door slammed open. Ella came stumbling in, wasted off her face, mascara running, dress barely hanging on, with some guy's hand shoved down the back of her skirt. What?
Hey, OP, let's maybe, like, worry about our kid a little bit more than making out with the friend she left at your house. Like, can we not have said, like, hey, you can't go to the party, you have a guest here?
Yeah, or like something. What?
Like, I get the falling into the wrong crowds, but, like, is there no way to...
Like,
Parents,
parent
tell
her?
me, is there no way to parent that still?
Yeah, right?
I get, like, I know for certain cases, like, sure, she still won't listen or she'll sneak out or something, but, like,
yeah, like
to me,
still.
it feels like you're just cool with it.
Right? She didn't even look at us, just giggled and dragged him upstairs. Tommy immediately pulled away, face flushed, and said he should go. I walked him to the door. We didn't talk about what happened. I said, thank you for the company. He smiled and said he had a good night. And this morning, I woke up to a text from him that said, I really enjoyed last night. You're a good cuddler, with some emoji faces. God's help me, he is so cute. Okay. And now I don't know what to do. Ella is still asleep, probably hungover. I haven't even talked to her. I don't know how to. I don't even know if she cares that she abandoned her friend. But Reddit, I genuinely like Tommy. Not just in a physical way, he's sweet. He's smart. He listens. He's kind. He's everything that I tried to teach Ella to be. And I don't want to throw this away because it's messy, but I also don't want to hurt anyone. Least of all, someone as good-hearted as him. So what the heck do I do? Do I talk to Ella? Do I talk to Tommy? Do I pretend nothing happened and go back to eating reheated soup and hoping my daughter doesn't choke on her own recklessness? And by the way, I hope that you don't choke when you listen to full episodes of stories just like this one on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more to the story, but
I'm not sure how I feel about everything.
Yeah, it's weird because
they're adults.
They're adults. So we don't know Tommy's age. I'm assuming he's around 25 if they're friends. But also, like, you know, she could still be friends with people that are younger. But I mean,
either way, it feels a little strange that it was like a friend of your daughter's.
Yeah. And maybe I wonder if part of why this feels so icky is because, like, he seems like such a good father figure
Right. That
from, like, our perspective from the
I
story.
think that's what it was.
Yeah, and so it's, like, just hearing, like, our dad talk about, like, kissing a
Right.
younger boy is just very disgusting. But, like, at the same time, it's kinda like, okay, well, a lot of people generally agree that, like, around 25, you have a good head on your shoulders and, like,
Your brains develop.
yeah, like, you're a little bit more able to, date older people.
Yeah,
But,
I think it was that combined with how you seem concerned for your daughter, but also just kind of like, but she does what she's gonna do, which also, I get it. She's 25.
yeah.
She is an adult.
Right. Please, I need advice. I need to know if I'm not the only one who has been in this kind of situation. I didn't mean for any of this to happen on what should have been a quiet night. And now I'm thinking about what it might mean to kiss someone again, to be wanted, to want someone who sees me. God's help me. I think I might be falling for my daughter's femboy best friend. Help. Yeah, I don't think they're best friends. I think you know that, though. But there are some comments. This commenter says, at first I thought this was going to be like your daughter's high school friend, and that would be horrible, but honestly, you're both adults, and as age gaps go, it could be a lot worse. Your daughter obviously has no romantic attraction towards Tommy, so that wouldn't be a problem as well. I get it, I'm way younger than you, but I understand what happens to a man when you're lonely for this long. If you like him, just call him. You're both adults, you'll sort it off, and if it doesn't work, probably won't, but you'll enjoy it while lasts, you can call it off. Just call Tommy so you don't regret that you did it. And that's the end of that story.
I told my best friend I loved him, and he revealed a 2-decade secret.
What is it? I want to know.
My dearest friend in the world is a man named James. James and I grew up in the same town, a conservative Christian town in nowhere, USA. The first time I met him was on the playground at school. He saw me sitting alone under a tree and came over to ask if I wanted to play with him and his friends. I said no, but he noticed I was reading a book about space, the solar system to be more precise. By the way, this comes from Throw Still Fightin'. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. I'm Carly.
I'm Angie.
And we're here to give good advice goofily, but we don't have all the answers. We only know what we would do, so let us know what you would do in the comments. And OP says, so he sat down next to me and asked which planet I thought would be the coolest to visit. We ended up talking for the rest of recess about what we thought the other planets might be like. And when we went back to class, he introduced me to his friends as my new friend. We were inseparable from that point on. It was one of those things where the entire town, our parents included, had us married off by age 8 or something. We didn't understand at the time, of course, but I would go on family trips with his family, stay over at his place, and vice versa through most of elementary school. We'd get in trouble for talking during class every day, though not really because the teachers all loved him. This dude could charm his way out of anything. It was unreal. We were best friends. When we finally reached the awkward teenage years and dating became a thing, he asked me to the first school dance and I said yes. We sort of started dating by default. I don't think we ever talked about it explicitly, but I just started calling him my boyfriend to other people and we went with that. Very little changed about our relationship. We still basically did all the same stuff we used to do before, except our parents got stricter about the sleepovers, and there was more hand-holding and cuddling. Kissing and stuff was always difficult for me, and I didn't know why. But he never pushed me on it at all. Not even once. The 2 times we tried, he was able to tell very quickly that I was uncomfortable, and he just shut the interaction down by messing up my hair playfully, saying, enough of that, how about we just watch a movie? I assumed one day I would get it. Well, I didn't. Sometime around 15 years old, I started to realize the problem. I wasn't spicily attracted to men. This was a very trying time for me. Given the kind of environment I grew up in, this was not considered acceptable. My parents were extremely religious. After about 8 months of identity crisis over this, I decided to muster up the courage to tell James before anyone else. I didn't know what to expect. I was terrified. I went over to his house trembling. He had done what he always did. Made my favorite snacks and got the controllers in my favorite game, Diddy Kong Racing, ready to go. He opened the door, gave me a hug, and I came in. I was so scared. We sat down and he looked at me for a second before putting his hand on mine and asking what was wrong. So I tried to tell him. I got halfway through the sentence, struggling to actually say I'm gay, before he just interrupted me and said, "You're gay." Yes, I know. Is there anything else? Followed by that goofy smile I love so much. I just froze in place. I asked him if he was mad, and he just laughed and told me that he loved me the way I was, and this was the way I was.
Aww. So nice.
Stop!
Yay.
Stop it! I started crying and jumped into his arms. It felt like 10 minutes at least before he finally interrupted me in characteristic fashion, remarking, "However, I will be mad if you let the pizza rolls I made get cold. So how about we stop crying and start eating?"
I love this.
Wow. We stayed best friends after that. We never actually had a breakup talk, but we did start to date other people. We talked and hung out almost every day until we graduated, and he went away to a big name college. The night before he left, he came and picked me up, and we drove around town and hit all our favorite spots. He drove me back home at 3 a.m. or something in the rain, and I took his hand during the drive home and fell asleep on his shoulder. I remember wondering then for a moment if I should just marry him anyway, but he was going away to college, and I'm not attracted to men, so it probably couldn't work no matter how I felt about him otherwise.
Yeah, probably.
He promised to stay in touch, but I didn't know if that would happen. Well, it did. Obviously, it wasn't like before, but he made sure to call me every week just to check up on me and see how things were going. I went to college close to home. We'd talk about how hard college was, whoever we were dating at the time, and whatever drama was going on. During his junior year, my parents found out that I was They did not react well, and I was basically kicked out of my home to save me. My dad going on about me needing Jesus 40 days in the desert like a lunatic. My parents are good people, so this didn't last. And they have more than made it up to me since and worked hard to unlearn their bad programming. But that was an awful time. I did what I always do and called James. He talked to me for about an hour and then got his mom to drive up to get me so I could stay in his old room. Then he flew home the next day, pretty much just to cheer me up and make sure I was alright. Vintage driving around in circles, singing like idiots, and 2 a.m. Junk food runs did the trick. I later found out from my mom that he had also gone and confronted my parents, stood up for me, and told them they should be ashamed of themselves.
Wow.
He said if they were willing to lose their daughter over this, they were unfit parents and not the second family I thought you were.
Wow.
Wow, why
Dang.
is James like the best human ever?
Honestly, he really is.
My parents worship him, so this was effective. And my mom still tells this story to this day. Once again, I remember wondering at the time, will I ever know anyone else in my life who would do this for me? But he was heading back to college and he was still a man, so I didn't do anything. Years went by. He got married. I got a long-term girlfriend. We stayed close the entire time. We saw each other a lot less, but it was still great every time he visited. And we had frequent texts and calls. I looked forward to his visits all year. And then tragedy struck. His wife divorced him.
Oh, wow.
I never liked her, but he did. I think she used him for a green card, and he was too sweet to notice, but that's neither here nor there. He came back home, so I saw him a lot more. Obviously, he was crushed, but we got through it together. And then I got the diagnosis. At age 27,
Oh, wow.
a decent chance of survival, but I had to start treatment right away. This experience has changed me and my outlook on life more than anything else that's ever happened to me combined. At first, everyone was there for me. I was getting visitors daily, friends, family, everyone. But as the weeks turned into months, it all stopped. Most people, even my friends, started coming once a week, then once a month, then many not at all. When things were looking bad around the 7 or 8 month mark, my girlfriend broke up with me.
What? Why would you do that? That's terrible.
Terrible girlfriend. Almost 2 years in now, and there's only 5 people who are still here. My mom, my dad, my sister, my best friend Amanda, and James. I almost can't talk about it without crying. But James is here every single day. Every day, for hours. He may have missed 20 days in almost 2 years due to work-related travel, and even then he calls me. He comes in and asks how his Amumu, which he's called me since we were kids because I like cows, and those are my initials,
That's funny.
is doing and listens. He brings my favorite things, plays games with me, sings to me, and shows me pictures of places he's been that I'd like to go. He sits there and holds my hand in silence so I won't be alone until the doctors tell him it's time to go. And then he does it again the next day.
Wow.
I've never seen him cry or show any sadness. If I even casually say something like, if I get better, he'll immediately interject with, when you get better. He just won't give up on me. The only other person who is there like this is my mom. Even my dad, sister, and Amanda, who have also shown up in big ways, are not this consistent. She's proven to me that no matter what happened in the past and what we may have clashed over, she loves me like no one else, except maybe James. Anyway, so James is here all the time now, and I realized something. At some point, I fell in love with him. When this happened, I really don't know. It might have been like this the entire time, but I was forced by my spicy-related orientation to push it out of my head for a long time. I feel like the intensity of this experience has allowed me to see clearly, and I know he's the one. He is not with anyone. He actually hasn't dated at all since his divorce. And that was multiple years ago. I don't know if I should say anything. If the feelings are mutual, then I might be able to pass away or live happy. But if the feelings are not mutual, then I just ruined a lifelong relationship with the man I love most in the world right before I might pass away.
I don't think that would ruin your relationship. I mean, you kind of already did that in the past, being like, yo,
I have
sorry.
a feeling James is right there too.
I mean, if he's
I'm
doing
just
all this,
taking a guess here.
you don't do all this for someone that you don't love.
Yeah. I told my mom this concern, and she went off on me, told me in no uncertain terms to get my head out of my butt or something like that and do it. She thinks he's been in love with me forever, and I'm blind. I agree with your mother.
Yeah.
Should I do it? Should I tell James I'm in love with him and see what happens? We have an update, though.
Yes.
But what do you say?
I say do it.
I agree.
Because that must be so confusing, like, OP realizing that she's attracted to women, but then being like, okay, but I emotionally am in love with this man.
Right.
And then, like, now, I mean, that's the thing, too, is that it's, like, it's all fluid and whatever. So that could just be your exception.
Maybe you're just bi now.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe just exclusively bi for him.
For James.
Yeah.
1% bi.
1%.
1% James.
Yeah.
My spicy orientation, James.
James. It's kind of just James. Sometimes women. But James.
I had that girlfriend for a while.
Yeah.
But James.
But pretty much James.
Update. I'm not sure if anyone will see this one, but I felt I needed to post it. It's been an emotionally exhausting few days, but in a good way.
Woohoo!
So I told him.
Woohoo!
I decided to tell him I love him by showing him the post. I didn't want to say it. I wanted him to read it. On the day I was going to do this, he came in as usual, chipper as ever. He greeted me, asked how I was, and got me talking about my day like he always does. He greeted me, asked how I was, and got me talking about my day like he always does. He knows I need to feel normal, so we do normal things and have normal talks. Eventually, the conversation came to me finally taking his advice and joining Reddit. He said that was great and asked what my username was. But I didn't tell him. He made some jokes and tried to get me to tell him for a bit, then he moved on.
Oh, okay.
He asked if I'd made any posts yet. I told him I had made one. He got all excited and started asking me what it was about. I was silent for maybe 10 or 15 seconds, just smiling at him. He got that concerned look he has sometimes and asked if I was doing all right. Then I just said, it was about you. Things got real. His eyes got watery. His cheeks were turning red, but also losing color at the same time. He looked tense, emotional, but completely frozen in place. His mouth opened slightly and he inhaled very slowly. I'm not sure he was even aware he was doing it. He was just staring at me, completely paralyzed. I took out my phone and asked him if he wanted to read it. He nodded very slowly. So I pulled up the post and handed him my phone and he took it. He never looked away from me. His hands were shaking, which made me feel better because mine were too. He finally looked down at the phone and started reading. I just sat there and watched him read it. I had basically written out our entire story together to provide context and ask if I should tell him. So it took him a while. I'd say maybe 7 or 8 minutes. I watched his face gradually display every emotion you could ever see on a person. My heart was racing like crazy. Around the middle, actual tears started rolling down his face, but he just kept reading. When he finished, he held the phone in his hand and stared at it for a good 15 or 20 seconds. Then he put it down next to him on the couch and sat there with his head down, not looking at me. He placed his hands in his lap, interlocking his fingers. His hands were shaking. I started to ask him if everything was all right, but before I could finish, his expression broke. He exhaled into a weak but incredibly tender, quivering smile, and he just reached out and pulled me into a hug.
Oh.
Okay. I buried my head in his chest and his arms just wrapped around me. I melted into him. He was so gentle. It felt so easy. It felt so right. Then he started crying, and then I started crying. He's been coming here through 2 years of treatments, and I'd never seen him cry until now. But he held me for a while, but however long it wasn't long enough. He still hadn't actually said a single word since I finished talking, but I guess he didn't really need to. Then he finally spoke. Now it is. When he finally pulled away, his face was red from crying, but he just looked so happy. He looked at me for a bit. It was kind of cute because he had a little trouble maintaining eye contact, which he usually doesn't. He was like a little boy again. Then he finally looked right at me and said, "You are the only thing I've ever wanted."
This is so sweet.
Oh my God.
I know, I'm tearing up too.
Then I started crying again, and he started crying again, and he pulled me into him, and he held me again. I wish it never ended. A little bit later, once we exhausted our crying capacity, I showed him the post comments. Then, after he finished reading, he kissed me. It felt so easy, not scary at all, and just right. He asked me if it lived up to my daydreams, and I chuckled and said yes. Then he said, "I'm not so sure myself. I think I need more data." And kissed me again.
Oh, this is so great.
He is so ridiculous, but this was smooth as butter. Then, after that, we started talking, and I guess he told me everything too. He said he'd loved me since we were little kids. He told me he has every drawing, letter, and craft I ever made for him in a safe that he took with him to college and has taken everywhere he's ever lived.
Oh my gosh. This is the best.
Guys, this is so cute. I'm tearing up.
So sweet. This is the best rom-com ever. And it's
Make this
real.
into a movie.
Literally.
Oh
do
my
it.
God.
Oh my gosh.
I'm okay, guys. This is just too cute.
It's so amazing. You need a second.
No, I'll take a walk after.
Okay.
I'm staying in my feels for now, guys.
Yeah.
We talked about the day I came out as to him and how he'd figured it out earlier, but he struggled to accept it for months in secret because he had lived his entire life up to that point assuming we would be a family and wanting nothing else.
Oh, and he got married to someone else?
Yeah.
Wait, that's actually kind of crazy. Like,
That is kinda
wait, he
crazy.
married someone else. Obviously, they
Ooh.
got divorced, but like,
Right.
but he married someone else and still had all of that stuff from her. I mean, I guess they were besties.
Yeah,
but
they're still besties.
yeah,
It was
so-
like his best friend
yeah,
but-
yeah, exactly.
that
But
he was in love with. He told me he thought about our last night before college all the time, and he kept hoping that entire night I'd say something before he left, because then he'd have transferred colleges to stay with me.
oh,
He told me he actually took a very long way home just to prolong the time when we were holding hands and I was sleeping on his shoulder. And that it was, to this day, his favorite memory. Who
This
is
is
this
amazing.
man? Then he looked at me with those piercing green eyes and said, "For me, there has never been anyone else."
I just got chills.
He loved once, which was me, and then struggled through a bunch of rebounds. Even though he had learned to bury it and move on with his life and was happy in our friendship, his heart had only ever belonged to me. Honestly, I guess I should have known this. I was flustered and deeply moved. We sat and talked and reminisced some more, mostly about when we were kids. I found out some things I never knew because he avoided telling me how romantic some things were for him after I came out. But I also kind of realized I think they felt romantic to me too. Then he sang me some of our songs. His voice is so beautiful.
Stop it. I would be in so many tears if I heard that. That's insane.
Yeah. We had another embrace and another kiss. Both still felt divine. Then I brought up this spicy sleep question, and oh my god, it was the cutest thing ever. There's something cuter? I barely got to say anything before he started tripping over himself like, look, I don't even care. I don't need that. I just want to wake up with you every day. Which was sweet. But then I told him that even though I didn't know how that would go, I wanted to try with him anyway when I got better. And oh my God, he turned tomato red and could barely look at me. This man has been married and had 6 girlfriends, but he completely just falls all over himself at the thought. God, it was adorable. Then we talked about the... He is so sure I'm going to make it. It's so touching. It took a little while to get him to take the other possibilities seriously. When I finally did and told him that it's the reason I didn't tell him sooner, he held my hand and told me that if that happens, he'd be okay because he'll always know that he was one of the lucky ones because he was mine.
Like, I'm gonna cry.
We're gonna have to take a lap after this. Jesus, I almost lost it. Then he said if we don't have that much time left, we better make sure every minute counts. I said, that's pretty hard to do in a hospital, and he replied, what do you mean? We're both here, and that makes this the best place on earth.
How is this real? This is insane.
Okay, what?
This is so insane. And oh my God.
Oh my God.
Wow. How does everything get blurry? How is
guys, this story's getting really blurry. I don't know what happened.
Just warning.
Like halfway through the words just kind of disappear.
Yeah.
I don't really know why. I teared up again and he held me one last time. Then the doctors came in. He kissed me goodnight. We both said I love you, but it felt so different. It's never felt so good to say or hear those words. Then he smiled at me and left. By the way, I'll always smile at you if you guys listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts, and search OK Storytime. And I hope you find some happy ones like this in there. Because they're in there.
They're here. It's so refreshing to cry over a happy story.
This is so refreshing.
Instead of a sad one. Like, this is amazing.
Got a little bit love. I was so excited. The first thing I did was call my mom, and she was just ecstatic. I think she might be happier than me, which is saying something. As soon as I told her what happened and that James and I are together, she just started crying and talking about what a good boy he is and that she can rest easy now because she knows I will always be loved and taken care of. I feel like a teenager again. I never thought I'd feel this way again in my life. I never even imagined if I did, it would be for a man.
That's so funny.
God, I love him so much. Now, as long as my health cooperates, I'll be one of the lucky ones too, because I am his.
Oh my God. My stomach just turned in like it got like butterflies from a relationship that's not even mine.
I'm so happy. Oh, I have no thoughts. That was amazing. I love love.
What an amazing way to end the story.